Hey guys, welcome back to FM Driving School. We recently talked about the new changes that dvsa are planning or proposing to change about your driving test. If you go to our channel, you can find the other parts to it. What were they? Let's see. Encourage learner drivers. So we had this one where they said they're gonna, if you were to fail your driving test, that they're going to extend the waiting time that you could wait, sorry. So initially it was 10 days before you could do your driving test. Now it's going to be 28 days. The next advice or proposal they had was reduce the number of cars doing the driving test. So they're going to change the cancellation period. So before it was 3 days in order for you to cancel your test. Now they're telling us that it might be 10 days before you can cancel your test before losing your fee. So that's the second proposal. The third was about driving instructors, that we have to put our badges up on the windscreen, sorry, which doesn't really affect the learners here as of yet. Let's go to number 4 now. Give learner drivers better information about driving instructors. Okay, so the proposals are different from others. It's the start of trying to find out what information learner drivers and their families would find useful when choosing a driving instructor. We want to know if learner drivers will benefit from having better information. So myself, we're on social media, FM Driving School on YouTube. I'm sure you're watching the video on YouTube. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and we're on TikTok. We got about over a million hits, 100,000 followers. So go check out us on TikTok as well. What currently happens? We currently run the servers of gov.uk for learner drivers to find driving instructors. Actually, I'm not too sure if I'm on that. I'm gonna make sure if I'm on that. It's voluntary for driving instructors to have the information or the services. So I'm gonna try and make sure my services are put on there. Name, phone number, email. Go to my site anyway, FM Driving School, and you can email me through there. And you can get my contact details. And they can also optionally display whether they've signed up to the driving instructors voluntary code of practice, whether they take regular continued professional development, their website address, their driving instructor grade. Okay, what we're proposing that we could make more information available about driving instructors' performances. Any measures of their performances must be easy for consumers to understand. We would like to hear from learner drivers what would drivers and work with the ADI NSP on the proposals. One option could be using these pieces of information. Average number. Okay, it's quite long. Let's go to the next part. Okay, update when and how this will affect my learners. So anyway, that's really for, let me just double check. That's really for just our information basically, and for ourselves. But anyway, let's go to update when and how to check someone's eyesight. Okay, so we're suggesting that we change the law so that we can do the eyesight check in the driving test in any level of light, not just in good daylight. Use more method of checking people's eyesight when they're taking the driving test. This would mean we could provide driving tests at more times, and it would have more flexibility to do the test if there are not many parked vehicles nearby. So the whole idea of this is now hopefully to increase more driving tests, it seems like. So maybe the eyesight test can happen now in the dark. The law says that we can only check someone's eyesight in good daylight. This means we cannot carry a driving test after sunset. So now they're planning to change the law that they can do the eyesight at any time of the day. We currently ask the learner drivers to read out vehicle number plate on a parked vehicle. You can use glasses if you wear them while driving in the car. In a car driving test, you have to read the number plate from a distance of 20 meters for vehicles with a new start number plate, or 20.5 for vehicles with an old start number plate. The new start number plates start with 2 letters followed by 2 numbers, such as AB51, ABC. Okay, now we're proposing that the law is changed so it gives us more flexibility on how we carry out the eyesight. This means that we could do the eyesight in different levels of light, use different methods to check someone's eyesight. For example, reading from a tablet. We have successfully shown that the method of reading from a tablet to the Secretary of State for Transport Honorary Medical Advisory Panel on Driving and Visual Disorder. Sorry, that was a long one to read. This is on the panels that advises the government about health standards required for safe driving. So it will look like this basically. Okay, how an app would look like to us to help check someone's eyesight if there's a limited number of vehicles nearby. The standards needed to pass the eyesight check will not change. We expect that it. So hang on a minute. So it says that it looks like this, but 10 meters away it will look like this small. Okay. We expect they will. We expect that we will still ask more people to read the number plate on parked vehicles. However, being able to use other methods will give us more flexibility when the test is taking place with no other parked vehicles nearby. These changes would apply to car driving tests, motorcycling tests, tractors, etc. Okay. We do not check eyesight in the HGV and bus driving test as the driver has already passed a medical. Okay, why we're proposing these changes because it's important that people meet the ISO standards in different levels of light, not just good daylight. It will give us more flexibility to provide driving tests at different times of the day. It will avoid us having to cancel tests when there's poor light because of weather or time of the year. It will give us more flexibility to be able to check someone's eyesight if there are very few parked vehicles, and it means we will not need to keep changing the law to add specific different eyesight check methods in the future, particularly as technology develops. So to sum up, one of the biggest changes that may come into effect this year 2022 to your driving test is the eyesight test. Before, by law, they had to do the eyesight test in good daylight. Now they can do it at any time of the day, even after sunset. Which means that they can actually now potentially do more driving tests despite the weather conditions or the level of lighting out there. Also, they're saying they might be able to do the eyesight test on an app on the iPad itself. So that way, if there's not many cars around, they can easily check it. So it'll be on an iPad like this, and you can see here, look, it says 10 meters here on the left. So it'll be this small here on the corner, etc. So then if it was 20 meters, they'll make it a little bit smaller, etc. So obviously the law currently is 20 meters for vehicles with a new style number plate, or 20.5 meters with the old style number plate. So that's one of the biggest changes that may come into effect this year, 2022. And finally, the last change will be replacing paper pass certificate with digital certificates. And so we're proposing that we issue a digital pass certificate to people who pass a theory test, a driving test, instead of paper. This will support DVLA's work to introduce a digital driving license and save the use of more than 2 million sheets of paper. That's not such a big deal. I think more digitally, you'll have a digital driving license. I think that's really that's going to affect us. Okay, we're exploring the range of legislative options to pursue this policy. Okay, at the end of the theory test, the learner driver is given a letter by the receptionist which shows their overall result. I'm sure, as you guys know who've done the theory test, whether you pass or fail, you get a letter. If the learner driver passed the test, the last part of the letter is a certificate showing that they passed the test. At the end of the driving test, the driving examiner gives a learner driver feedback on how they did. They can then email us. They can then email a summary of the overall results and any faults the learner driver has made. The email is received within a minute of the test, and about 99.8% of learner drivers take up this action. If the learner driver passes the driving test, the examiner will fill in a paper test certificate. This acts as a proof that the person has passed the test until the full license arrives. So we're proposing that people pass the theory or driving test would get a digital pass certificate. This would also include all types of tests. Motorcycles, HGV, bus, tractor, and special vehicles. Okay, why we're proposing it? Moving to replace paper pass certificate with digital version will support this work. Is working to create a digital drive. Okay, so DVLA is working to create a digital driving license. It will also avoid people having a physical copy, which they could lose, which is true. This causes people to contact us for replacements. Okay, let's see the other benefits. It also it would also have benefits to the environment. Over 2 million sheets of paper, fair enough. The energy and water saved in producing the recycling paper used for certificates. The emissions stopped from the production of ink used to print certificates, and reduced transport emissions. A certificate will not need to be delivered to our test centers, which is fair enough. Okay, and there you have it. Those are the 6 proposals. The consultation starts on the 25th of January and closing on the 8th of March 2022. So I might do it myself. I'll click on it. So anyway, go check it out, FM Driving School, and go to our site fmdrivingschool.co.uk. Those are some of the major changes that could come into effect this year.